Welcome back to the channel where we uncover America's hidden coin gems, one penny at a time. If you're new here, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because today, we're diving deep into the top 8 most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies that are worth millions of dollars. Moneybag, yes, you heard that right, millions. These aren't just pocket change, these are rare, historic pieces that could change your life if you find one in your collection. So grab your magnifying glass and let's get started. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins from early 20th century America, the 1917 Lincoln wheat penny. This isn't just an old copper coin, it's a historical artifact, a rarity among U.S. coins, and for some lucky collectors, it's worth an astonishing $70,588 to $73,884 on the current market. Yes, you heard that right, over $70,000 for a single penny. Stick around as we uncover the incredible story behind this coin, its origins, minting details, errors to look for, and what gives it such jaw-dropping value today. Let's kick things off with a bit of historical context. The year was 1917. The United States had just entered World War I. The country was shifting into full industrial gear, and every aspect of American life was being influenced by the war effort, including coin production. During this time, the Lincoln wheat penny was still a relatively new coin, having only been introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and not just any person, but one of America's most respected presidents. Now, when it comes to mint marks, the S in 1917 S stands for San Francisco, where a smaller number of these pennies were struck compared to the Philadelphia and Denver mints. San Francisco was known for producing fewer coins, which already gave the 1917 Lincoln penny a level of scarcity. In total, only about 32 million of these were minted. That might sound like a lot, but over a century later, only a tiny fraction remain in good condition, especially in mint state or uncirculated grades. So, what makes this coin so incredibly valuable? There are a few key factors at play: scarcity, condition, historical significance, and collector demand. Most of the 1917 Lincoln cents were heavily circulated, meaning they've suffered wear and tear over the decades. Finding one with crisp details, sharp edges, and no damage is extremely rare. In fact, high-grade specimens of this coin, those graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, are almost never seen in the wild. In lower grades, say fine or very fine condition, a 1917 penny might be worth anywhere from $5 to $50, depending on the coin's appearance. But once you step into the about uncirculated range, prices can jump to several $100s. And here's where things get really exciting. In mint state, especially MS65 red, this coin can sell for over $70,000. In fact, recent auction records show sales ranging from $70,588 to $73,884 for pristine examples. That's not just a coin, that's a life-changing discovery for a lucky collector or metal detectorist. So, what exactly should you look for if you think you've come across a 1917 penny? First, check the obverse, or the front of the coin. You should see Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," across the top, Liberty, on the left, and the year 1917 just below his portrait. Then flip it to the reverse. The wheat ears on both sides give this coin its wheat penny nickname. The words 1 cent and United States of America appear in bold capital letters, with E pluribus unum above. Now, the key identifier is the small s mint mark just beneath the date on the front of the coin. That S tells you it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. Be careful not to confuse it with a 1917 from Philadelphia, which would have no mint mark, and while that version can also be valuable, it doesn't come close to the price tag of a high-grade 1917 S. You might be wondering, why do coins like this fetch such high prices? Well, it comes down to collector psychology and market economics. Serious coin collectors are always chasing the highest graded versions of the rarest coins to complete their sets. The 1917 S in top condition is notoriously hard to find. It's like the missing puzzle piece in a century-old masterpiece. That scarcity drives intense demand, which drives up auction prices. In fact, some coins from this era are graded red, red-brown, or brown based on how much of their original copper luster remains. A 1917 S in MS65 red condition? That's basically a unicorn in the world of pennies. Now, let's talk briefly about errors. While the 1917 S itself isn't known for major errors like double dies or off-center strikes, some examples might have small die cracks, repunchment marks, or weak strikes, and these can sometimes add a premium to the coin's value. However, condition remains the number one factor when it comes to breaking into that $70,000 plus territory. So where can you find one of these coins? You might think they only exist in elite collections or auction houses, and that's mostly true. But every now and then, stories surface of someone finding one in a penny roll, an old coin jar, or even in estate sales. If you're a metal detectorist, or you inherited coins from a relative, it's always worth checking those old wheat pennies for rare dates and mint marks, because the next hidden treasure could be sitting in your hands. If you do believe you have a 1917 S penny in good condition, the next step is to have it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS or NGC can evaluate your coin and give it a certified grade that adds legitimacy and value in the marketplace. A certified MS65 1917 S Lincoln penny can command the highest level of trust and interest from serious buyers. To sum it up, the 1917 S Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a copper coin. It's a piece of American history, a collector's gem, and potentially a six-figure jackpot in your coin collection. With only a few surviving in exceptional condition, its rarity, beauty, and historical significance make it one of the most sought-after coins in the Lincoln Cent series. Whether you're a long-time collector or a newcomer to the hobby, this is one coin that deserves a spot on your radar. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare and valuable US coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Got a coin you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments. Who knows, your old penny might be worth a fortune. Until next time, happy collecting and keep your eyes open, because even a single penny could change your life. Welcome back, coin collectors and history lovers. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting and surprisingly valuable coins in the world of US numismatics, the 1941 D Mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny. That's right. A small copper coin minted during the early years of World War II could now be worth up to $70,664 on the current market. You're going to want to stick around to the end of this video, because we're going to cover everything: the origin, key details, rare errors, what makes this coin special, and how you can tell if you're holding a small fortune in your own change jar. Let's go back in time to the year 1941. The world was deep in the throes of World War II, and the United States was still a few months away from officially entering the conflict. Yet, millions of Americans were already involved in war-related industries, and the U.S. Mint was doing its part by producing coinage to support the growing economy. In that year, the Denver Mint, represented by the small D Mint mark, struck over 128 million Lincoln wheat cents. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln Cent was already an American staple since its debut in 1909. But what makes the 1941 D penny stand out among all the others? It's not just its age, it's the condition, the rarity of high grades, and the value placed on flawless specimens that make this coin such a prized collector's item today. While most 1941 D pennies are only worth a few cents to a few dollars, there are rare gems that have fetched upwards of $70,000 at auction. The 1941 D Lincoln wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. On the obverse, you'll see the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, with the words, "In God We Trust." Above his head, Liberty, to the left, and the date, 1941. To the right, just below the mint mark, D for Denver, The reverse features two wheat stalks arching along the sides, hence the name, wheat penny, with the words 1 cent and United States of America in the center. Above that reads the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one. Why is it worth so much? Now let's talk about the $1,000,000 question, or rather, the $70,000 one. Why is this little copper penny worth up to $70,664 today? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and demand. While over 128 million 1941 pennies were minted, most of them circulated heavily. That means they suffered scratches, nicks, fading, and oxidation over time. However, a very small number of these coins were set aside and preserved in nearly flawless condition, what we call mint state, or MS. The highest value comes from coins graded MS67+ read by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. These coins have vibrant, original red color, full strike details, and virtually no marks under magnification. Collectors and investors alike will pay big bucks for such pristine pieces, especially when they're certified authentic and graded professionally. In 2023, a 1941 Lincoln wheat penny graded MS67+ red sold for an eye-popping $70,664 at auction, setting a record and demonstrating just how valuable the right coin in the right condition can be. Besides condition, era coins and rare varieties are another factor that can increase the value of the 1941 penny. While there are no widely known major double-die varieties from this year at the Denver Mint, some collectors have found small but intriguing errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, RPMs, BI errors, where a die chip appears between the letters B and E. In Liberty, these errors don't always make the coin worth thousands, but they do attract attention from collectors and can raise a coin's value significantly over its face value, sometimes up to hundreds or even low thousands of dollars depending on the error and condition. So if you think you've got a 1941 penny with something a little unusual about it, take a closer look under a magnifying glass, or better yet, submit it to a professional grading service for evaluation. How to tell if yours is valuable? If you've found a 1941 Lincoln wheat penny in your pocket change, coin roll, or old collection box, here's how you can determine if it's worth something big. Check the mint mark. Make sure it's the D for Denver, located just below the date. Examine the color. Coins with full red color, meaning they haven't turned brown or dark, are more valuable. Assess the condition. Look for sharp detail in Lincoln's hair, wheat stalk lines, and the coin's rims. Avoid coins with visible wear. Look for errors. Check for anything strange like doubling, cracks, or unusual marks. Get it graded. If you think your coin is in excellent condition, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A high-grade rating like MS66 or MS67 could make your penny worth thousands, even tens of thousands. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny continues to be one of the most collected dates from the early 1940s. While the majority are common, top-graded examples are incredibly scarce. As demand for quality coins remains strong, and as more people take interest in coin collecting as a hobby and investment, the value of rare coins like the 1941 is expected to remain high or even increase over time. In the current market, prices for these coins range from a few dollars for circulated examples to over $69,000 for mint state red examples graded MS67+. So if you have one of these coins in superb condition, you might be sitting on a small treasure without even knowing it. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is a perfect example of how a tiny piece of copper can hold massive value, historically, financially, and sentimentally. It reminds us of a time when America was on the brink of war, when pennies actually had purchasing power, and when even the most ordinary-looking coin could become extraordinary. If you've got one of these coins, take care of it. You never know. It could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. And if you don't have one yet, keep hunting. Whether through coin rolls, flea markets, estate sales, or your grandparents' old coin jar, there's always the chance that a valuable piece of history is just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video about rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment below and let me know, have you ever found a 1941 penny in your collection? Or what's the most valuable coin you've ever discovered? Until next time, happy collecting. And remember, always check your change. Hello and welcome back to the channel where we uncover the secrets hidden in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of one of the most collectible and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1945 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. You might be surprised to learn that this humble little copper coin, often overlooked, could actually be worth a staggering $66,333 to $67,694 in today's coin market. So whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone curious about that old penny in your drawer, make sure to stick around until the end because we're going to talk about everything, from its incredible history, key features, why it's so valuable, and how you might just have one in your possession. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is part of a long-running coin series that began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the first time in American history that a U.S. president appeared on a circulating coin. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent features a profile of Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin, and a pair of wheat stalks on the reverse, giving rise to the nickname, Wheat Penny. Now, the 1945 version of this penny was struck during a very unique period in American history, right at the tail end of World War I. In 1945, the Philadelphia Mint, which does not use a mint mark, produced more than 1 billion Lincoln wheat pennies. That's right, over a billion coins were minted, specifically around 1,040,515,000 of them. So you might be wondering, with so many coins produced, why is this coin so rare and valuable today? Well, here's where it gets interesting. While the 1945 penny is generally considered common in circulated condition, its true value lies in a combination of factors including condition, rarity in high grades, and collector demand. Most of the 1945 pennies were heavily circulated, meaning they show a lot of wear and tear. However, very few examples have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition with full original red color and sharp details. These top-tier examples are what collectors are willing to pay a premium for, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. Let's talk about the coin's physical characteristics. The 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. On the obverse, you'll find the iconic portrait of President Lincoln facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust." Above his head, Liberty, to the left, and the date, 1945, to the right. Since this coin was minted in Philadelphia, there is no mint mark beneath the date. The reverse side of the coin features two wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto, E pluribus unum, above. Now let's dive into what makes certain 1945 pennies so valuable. One key factor is mint state grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. A penny in MS-60 might only be worth a few dollars, while one in MS-67 red or higher can skyrocket into the 5-figure range. What does red mean in this context? Well, Lincoln pennies come in 3 general color designations: red, red-brown, and brown. A red coin retains at least 95% of its original mint luster and color, which makes it significantly more desirable and rare. Recently, a 1945 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny graded MS-67 Plus red by PCGS sold at auction for $66,333. And another in similar top condition fetched a whopping $67,694. These prices are not random. They reflect fierce competition among collectors for high-end examples and the growing demand for historical U.S. coinage. What makes these coins even rarer is the fact that fewer than a handful exist at this grade level, making them true treasures in the world of numismatics. But there's more. Some era coins from 1945 can also be worth a lot of money. Keep an eye out for double die obverse errors, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. Although these are much less common, they do exist and can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the error and overall condition of the coin. So it definitely pays to look closely. You might be wondering how you can tell if your 1945 Lincoln wheat penny is worth anything. The first step is to examine its condition. Is it scratched, worn, or discolored? Or does it have that bright original red color with sharp, crisp details? If you think you have a high-quality example, it's a good idea to get it professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade will greatly increase the coin's marketability and help you get the best possible value if you choose to sell. Another tip: check old coin rolls, piggy banks, inherited collections, or even change from the bank. While finding a top-grade 1945 wheat penny is rare, it's not impossible. Many people have discovered treasure in the most unexpected places. So, what does the future hold for the 1945 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny? Experts believe its value will only continue to rise, especially as more collectors enter the hobby and demand outpaces supply for these high-grade examples. It's more than just a coin, it's a piece of American history, a symbol of resilience during wartime, and a snapshot of an era when pennies really mattered. To sum it all up, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark may seem ordinary at first glance, but if you've got one in excellent condition, it could be worth between $66,333 and $67,694, or even more in the right market. Whether you're a casual enthusiast or a serious investor, this coin is a reminder that history is literally in our hands, and sometimes it's worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1945 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss future videos where we explore other rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in your collection. Drop a comment below if you have one of these coins or want us to feature a specific coin in our next video. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking your change. You never know what treasure you might find. Welcome back, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into a true American numismatic treasure, the 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. Don't be fooled by its humble face value of just 1 cent. This coin could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, with the current market value estimated between $64,553 and $66,774. That's right, for a single penny, so grab your coin jar, because you might be sitting on a hidden fortune. Let's explore the rich history, the unique features, the rarity, and the market value of this incredible coin that has collectors buzzing. The history behind the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny. First, let's set the stage. The 1949 Lincoln wheat penny was part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this penny features the iconic right-facing bust of President Lincoln on the obverse, and a pair of wheat stalks on the reverse, hence the name, wheat penny. In 1949, the United States was still feeling the aftershocks of World War II. The economy was transitioning, coinage was stable, and the U.S. Mint was operating at full steam. That year, the Lincoln penny was struck at 3 mints, Philadelphia, which struck coins with no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Today, we're focusing on the Philadelphia version, the 1949 no mint mark wheat penny, which is actually the most common of the 3 from that year. But don't let common fool you. This coin holds massive value, if you know what to look for. Mintage and general details. Let's talk numbers. In 1949, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 217 million Lincoln pennies without a mint mark. That's a big number, which is why many people assume they're not worth much. But here's the twist. Only a fraction of these coins have survived in pristine, high-grade condition. Over time, most were spent, worn down, or damaged. Those that remained untouched, especially those with rare mint errors or high-quality strikes, are now incredibly valuable in today's market. Design features of the 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny. Let's break down the coin's design. On the obverse front, we have a bust of President Abraham Lincoln, the inscription, "In God We Trust." At the top, Liberty, on the left side, and the date, 1949, on the right side, with no mint mark underneath, confirming it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse back, you'll find the famous two wheat stalks curving along the edges, the words 1 cent in large font in the center, United States of America, just below it, and E pluribus unum across the top. The simplicity and beauty of this design is part of what makes wheat pennies so beloved, what makes the 1949 no mint mark penny so valuable. So, what turns a 1949 penny into a small fortune? There are several factors. 1. Condition grade. The most important factor is the coin's condition, also known as its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to perfect mint state, MS70. The 1949 penny is only worth a few cents in circulated condition. But in uncirculated condition, especially MS65 or higher, its value can skyrocket to tens of thousands of dollars. Coins that were preserved in original rolls, untouched by human hands, and never used in circulation are considered mint state, and they're the ones collectors fight over at auctions. Point 2. Rarity of high grades. While millions of 1949 pennies were minted, only a tiny percentage have survived in pristine mint state red condition, where the copper retains its original reddish luster. These are rare and incredibly sought after. Point 3. Mint errors and varieties. Another thing to look for is mint errors. These are mistakes made during the coin's production, such as double die obverse, DDO, where parts of the design are doubled, especially the date, or lettering. Off-center strikes, BIE die breaks between the B and E in Liberty, clipped planchets, or misaligned dies. If you find a 1949 penny with one of these errors in excellent condition, the value could increase dramatically. Some error coins have sold for over $50,000 at auction. 4. Full red color. The color designation, red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, also affects value. A 1949 penny in MS67 red condition is almost unheard of and is considered a numismatic gem. Auction records and real market sales. Let's talk numbers. According to recent sales and collector databases, a 1949 no mint mark Lincoln penny graded MS67 RD sold for $64,553 at auction. Another specimen with an extremely rare strike and full red color sold for an astounding $66,774. Even lower mint state grades, like MS65 RD, can fetch $3,000 to $5,000, depending on color and eye appeal. That's a huge return on a single cent. Tips for identifying a valuable 1949 penny. Here's what you need to do if you want to check your 1949 penny. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to look at the details. Check for doubling or die breaks. Compare the color. Is it bright red, reddish brown, or dark brown? Look at the strike. Is the detail crisp and clear, especially on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks? Check for signs of wear or scratches. Even small blemishes can lower the grade and value. If you think you've got a good one, consider having it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. It's the best way to authenticate and assign a value. Don't ignore that penny. So there you have it. The 1949 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny may look like just another old coin, but it could be a numismatic jackpot. While most are only worth a few cents, those rare, high-grade, red luster coins with perfect strikes or errors can sell for over $64,000 and even beyond. If you've got a coin collection, or even just a jar of old change, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of American history that's worth a small fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or exciting, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more coin news, rare finds, and collector secrets. And don't forget to ring the bell icon so you don't miss the next treasure reveal. Until next time, keep collecting, keep hunting, and who knows, your next penny could be worth Today we're diving deep into the incredible story and current market value of one of the most sought-after wheat pennies in American numismatic history, the 1950 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. That's right, this unassuming little copper coin that many people overlook could actually be worth a small fortune today. So if you've got a coin jar lying around or inherited a collection from a loved one, make sure you stay tuned because this 1950 wheat penny could change your life. Let's start with the background and history. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it bears no mint mark under the date. This coin was part of the Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and it's been an iconic piece of American currency ever since. The wheat penny design, also known as the wheat ears reverse, remained in production from 1909 to 1958. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, you'll find the bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust." At the top, Liberty on the left, and the year of minting, in this case, 1950, to the right. The reverse side of the coin shows two stylized stalks of wheat surrounding the denomination, 1 cent, and the words, United States of America. Just above that is the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. In 1950, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 272 million Lincoln wheat pennies. So, you might be wondering, why is a coin with such a high mintage considered so valuable today? The answer lies in a combination of condition, rarity in top grades, errors, and collector demand. While millions were produced, only a small fraction survive today in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most of these coins were spent, worn down, and damaged in circulation. However, the few coins that were preserved in high mint state grades, especially those graded MS-66 or MS-67 read by PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare. That rarity is what drives up their market value into the tens of thousands of dollars. Another factor that can increase a coin's value is the presence of unique die errors or minting anomalies. While the 1950 no-mint mark penny is not famous for a major variety like a double die or repunched mint mark, there have been some coins discovered with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. These types of errors can make a coin significantly more valuable depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Collectors go wild for well-documented mint errors, especially on coins from older series like the wheat penny. Now let's talk value. If you find a 1950 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in average circulated condition, say, in good or very good condition, it might be worth anywhere from 5 cents to a couple of dollars depending on the market. In fine to extremely fine condition, the value could rise to $2 to $5. But here's where things get really exciting. A coin graded mint state 63 red, or MS-63RD, could sell for hundreds of dollars. Bump that grade up to mint state 65 red, and the coin might fetch $2,000 to $5,000. And in the rarest cases, coins graded MS-66 red or higher can command astonishing prices. In fact, recent auction records have shown 1950 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat pennies selling for as much as $62,333 to $64,554. That's right, over $60,000 for a single copper penny that might be hiding in plain sight. These top dollar sales are usually for coins certified by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC and housed in protective slabs. The coins must exhibit strong eye appeal, full original red luster, and absolutely no contact marks or blemishes. So what makes a penny reach that elite level of valuation? It comes down to three key things: rarity, condition, and demand. While millions were minted, coins in perfect condition are exceptionally rare. Combine that with the historical appeal of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series and the ongoing demand from collectors, and you've got a formula for big money. Many collectors tried to build complete sets of Lincoln cents from 1909 to 1958 in the highest grade possible, and when it comes to the 1950 issue, the finest examples are incredibly hard to come by. That's why collectors are willing to pay such enormous prices when they appear at auction. You might be wondering, How can you tell if your 1950 wheat penny is worth thousands? First, check the color. Copper coins are graded not just by wear, but also by color: brown, and red. A full red designation means the coin still retains at least 95% of its original mint red color, which is incredibly rare for a 1950 penny. Next, examine the surface under magnification. Look for signs of wear, scratches, or dullness. If your coin looks flawless and full of luster, it could be a candidate for professional grading. I always recommend submitting high-quality coins to a grading service like PCGS or NGC if you believe you have something special. These companies will authenticate, grade, and encapsulate your coin, making it more desirable and marketable to collectors. Keep in mind that submitting a coin costs money, so it's worth doing some research first, or even consulting with a local coin dealer. In conclusion, the 1950 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny is far more than just a relic from the past. It's a potential gold mine. With a current market value ranging from $62,333 to $64,554 for top-grade examples, this coin proves that hidden treasures still exist in the world of pocket change. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, be sure to check your coins carefully. That unassuming penny at the bottom of your coin jar could be worth more than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Leave a comment below if you've ever come across a rare wheat penny, or let us know what coin you'd like us to feature next. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck in your coin hunts. Welcome back, coin collectors and history lovers. If you've ever checked your spare change hoping to discover a hidden treasure, this video is just for you. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of one of the most remarkable and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. That's right, this little copper beauty could be sitting quietly in someone's drawer right now, yet it holds a staggering current market value ranging from $68,323 to $69,554. So, grab your magnifying glass and stay with me as we explore why this coin is worth so much, what makes it so rare, and how you could potentially own one or recognize one in your collection. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin replaced the Indian head penny and quickly became one of the most iconic American coins ever produced. The reverse design featured two wheat stalks curving along the edges of the coin, thus the name, wheat penny. Now, fast forward to the year 1944. This was right in the middle of World War II, and the United States Mint was making adjustments to coin production in response to wartime metal shortages. In 1943, just 1 year earlier, the U.S. Mint produced steel cents coated in zinc to conserve copper for the war effort. These coins were known as the steel pennies, and they had a very distinctive silver color. However, the steel pennies rusted easily and were often mistaken for dimes, so the Mint quickly reverted back to using copper in 1944. Here's where it gets interesting. In 1944, the U.S. Mint used recycled shell casings from the battlefields of World War II to produce Lincoln cents. These were known as shell case cents. They were made of a copper alloy, 95% copper and 5% zinc, similar to pre-war pennies. This is the composition used for the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular coin was struck. So what makes the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny so incredibly valuable? After all, over 430 million of them were minted at the Denver facility. That sounds like a huge number, right? But the truth is, condition, strike quality, and unique variations make all the difference. Most 1944 wheat pennies you'll come across are heavily circulated and worth just a few cents to maybe $1 or $2 in average condition. But when you find one in mint state, especially graded as MS67 or higher, the value skyrockets. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins in superb condition with deep red luster, no marks, and crisp detail. Only a very small number of 1944 wheat pennies exist in these pristine conditions, and that's where the value comes in. These high-grade examples are like rare pieces of artwork. They're historic, beautiful, and nearly impossible to replace. Another factor that increases value is errors and varieties. Some 1944 Lincoln cents have been found with repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, or even on steel planchets left over from 1943. Those steel 1944 pennies are ultra-rare and can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if authenticated. But even without a major error, the regular 1944 coin in flawless condition is extremely collectible. Let's talk about grading. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS-70 being a perfect, flawless coin. The most valuable 1944 Lincoln wheat pennies are typically graded MS-67 plus red. That red designation means the coin retains more than 95% of its original red copper color. And let me tell you, that red hue is gold in the eyes of collectors. In recent auctions, 1944 Lincoln pennies graded MS-67 red have fetched between $68,323 and $69,554, depending on strike quality, eye appeal, and demand at the time. That's an incredible return for a coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent. It proves that condition truly is king in the world of coin collecting. Transition to market value and sales. Let's take a closer look at the current market value of this coin. As of this year, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in MS-67 red condition has a value range between $68,323 to $69,554 according to recent auction records and professional coin grading data. Coins that are graded slightly lower, say MS-66 red, might sell for $5,000 to $10,000. But when you hit that MS-67 benchmark, you enter the elite territory. What's even more exciting is that prices have been rising steadily in the past decade. The demand for top-grade Lincoln wheat cents continues to grow among collectors, investors, and even museums. With fewer high-grade examples available every year, values are expected to climb even further in the future. Transition to identification and tips. Now you may be wondering, how can you tell if your 1944 penny is worth a fortune? First, look for the D mint mark right below the date. Then, examine the coin's condition. Does it still have a bright reddish luster? Are there any scratches, wear marks, or discolorations? If your coin appears uncirculated, you may have a valuable piece on your hands. The next step is to have it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. These third-party grading companies will certify the coin's authenticity and assign a grade, which is essential for selling or insuring high-value coins. If your coin receives a grade of MS-66 or higher, you could be holding a life-changing amount of money in the palm of your hand. So there you have it, folks. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is not just a piece of copper, it's a symbol of history, patriotism, and rarity. From its origin during the turbulence of World War II to its current status as a high-value collector's gem, this coin proves that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest stories. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who checks their change for fun, always keep an eye out for this remarkable coin. And if you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, remember, it could be worth between $68,323 and $69,554 in today's market. That's more than a new car, or even a down payment on a house, all in the form of a humble penny. If you found this video informative and exciting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content on rare and valuable coins. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about a coin that could change your life. And if you have a 1944 penny or any rare coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your finds. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting and keep checking that change.